Welcome to the Geekz 31 Days of Horror for Halloween. This is Alil.
This is Steve.
And this is Sean for like maybe the first time.
You're
gonna be a lot this year.
Yeah. I mean,
so, we're choosing movies that we know either you've already watched or you want to watch. So
okay.
That's the focus.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys focusing on me. It's always about me.
All about you. It's always. So
some things never change.
So tonight we're reviewing Scream 6 from 2023. So for those of you who have not been with us before, we'll play for you our rating system.
There's a rating system in place that we like to call 0 to 0. If whatever horror movie we're reviewing is terrifying only to the most infantile who get nightmares from PG-13 reboots, it gets a 0. If it's a gorgasm-inducing slaughter party that satiates your most devious and monstrous desires, it gets a hero.
In the next installment, the survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind and start fresh in New York City. Scream 6 stars a lot of people, but not Neve Campbell. So Courtney Cox returns.
Does she? From the dead.
Well, Jenna Ortega and others at this point. Steve just I can't go any further. Steve,
as bad as Nicole Kidman. Her Nicole Kidman.
Her face is stretched so tight.
God. So Scream 6. Sean, what did you give Scream 6?
Well, I give it a hero. I thought it was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single bit of it. I really, really did. Like, it was fun. Like, it was good kills. There were some really good fucking kills. It was like, there was a moment where I was like, I think that person died for real. Like, that girl got stabbed for real because that stabbing was brutal. It was a brutal stabbing in there. It was a couple moments that was really cool. The ending was really like all over the fucking place, but it was like it was okay though. I was like, oh, okay, well, a little far fetched, but like it works. I could have swore I thought motherfuckers should have really been dead. To be honest, there was some shit I was just like, okay, bro, for real, word. You just got stabbed like 85 times, like. You survived that, like that was some bullshit. But overall, it gets a hero for me. I enjoyed it. It was a really good movie. So yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I give it a hero as well, with the caveat that I have some gripes. It's still a really fun movie, and this is probably the most vicious, the most violent we've seen a Ghostface killer. Not only that, it has, I think, barring the first movie, the best opening of any Scream movie. I mean, you can't beat the Drew Barrymore opening scene that just set the standard.
Yeah,
but,
you can't really
but this just takes it in a whole new direction, something very fresh and new that adds a lot to the movie. I thought there were a couple of things that if they would have done differently, this could have been a damn near perfect movie. But they went in certain directions that I didn't care for too much. I'm not a big fan of Ghost Dad either. That's a little that's a little much. But for the most part,
got enough of him in the last one,
right?
Bill Cosby.
Let's review Ghost Dad next.
Who's worse? Who's worse, Billy Loomis or Bill Cosby?
Or Bill Cosby. I'm gonna go with Bill.
But yeah, no, it was a really fun, really, really good movie. I actually really liked the main character, Samantha, a lot more in this one than the first one, even though she makes some questionable decisions towards the end. We'll get to there when we talk about spoilers. We are going to have a spoiler review or a section for this one because it's such a new movie. So we'll get to those little details then. But I do give it a hero. I think it's a really great film. So, Will?
Yeah, I give it a hero as well. I mean, it is very brutal. There are some scenes in here where where you're just like, holy cow. But then all of a sudden, I guess I'm with you, Steve. I have some gripes because like the brutality in a couple of the scenes, like you're like, oh wow, that's amazing, and then it kind of it loses its mark at the after effect, and we'll get to it in some of it. But yeah, the opening, fantastic.
Well, and then once you find out the killers, you're like trying to do the logistics of it, and you're like, but how did that person do that? It's kind of like in Scream 5 when like
exactly.
the girlfriend, the little girl's the one that stabs Dewey and picks him up off the floor with a knife. Like, I don't know.
Agree, and that's part of it. And then like, and we'll get to it, because like I think Sean said it as well. Like the ending, there was a lot of different things that were happening, and it's like, man, like we talk about like. The trope of the killer coming back. Like,
good Lord.
What?
I also don't know if Hayden Panettiere really added anything to this.
He added nothing, Steve. Nothing.
She looked like
Out of
Adrienne
place.
Barbeau in Swamp Thing. She looked like somebody's divorced aunt.
She did. She had that divorce
vibe.
The
divorce
smoker.
Vibe, man.
The
like,
smoker,
she had
she looks like she's like
voice.
it's like a pack and a half a day at least.
The Margot
Virginia
Kidder
Slims.
Margot Kidder
of
voice.
the Scream universe.
She would have done it a lot better, but she couldn't. She would run out of air too quickly. She'd run out of steam.
You know what though? But I was happy that Kirby came back. I guess like even though you're right, Steve, but I'm happy Kirby came back because I think it was Scream 4, right? Like I think
and Scream 4 is great.
She was the star of Scream 4. Like I think like
in Scream 4.
Well,
Lordy.
A lot of things have happened since Scream 4, but yes. Yeah, so it's a hero from me. So that's a superhero for Scream 6. I don't think really since 3 the franchise has really had much of a downer. I think 4, 5, and 6 have been great. So with that, let's get into some spoilers.
Spoilers.
We kept talking about the amazing opening.
So you get your Samara Weaving in here.
Yep. But I think Ava said it best. She teaches She teaches about horror movies, and she's gonna go down a dark alley. She's dumb.
That was dumb. That was some dumb shit.
It was dumb, but like you gotta just. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like it was happening very naturally.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like in real life, you don't think you're in a horror movie, right?
And
like,
it wasn't dark in that alleyway either. It looked pretty well lit, actually.
Well, yeah, there's lots of people walking around, things going around, but all of a sudden, like once you did walk in that alleyway, you did feel that kind of darkness around you. You're like looking around, like nothing's there.
She's dead.
Yeah, and then she, Ghostface does show up and gives her the what for, and you're like, well, that's cool, but like you saw Scream 1, 10-minute opening, completely rewrites the book. You Scream 2, another 10-minute opening with Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps. Like that was a cool opening, but it set up, it was a huge setup and, big payoff.
Yeah, but it wasn't the opening yet, because the opening kept going. It didn't hit the Scream intro right here.
No, I know, but that's what I was thinking. The first time watching this, I'm like, that's it, and then Ghostface kneels down and takes his fucking mask off right there, and you're like,
and it's fucking
Flash Thompson.
but then he fucking bites it.
Well, then you realize that his death is actually the intro to the movie, and I thought that was a great spin on things, and I like how Ghostface is like, "Fuck the movies, yeah," awesome.
That was cool.
So
I did like the roommate. They had this whole movie planned out with these two, and they're both dead in the opening, which was crazy, right? So like now we have two killers in the Scream mask, but they weren't working together. So that's also a different twist, that we have now multiple characters, and that's what kind of throws you off going forward. And I love the body parts in the fridge. I thought that was very fun.
But go back and watch and just look at all the cool shit hanging in that dude's apartment.
Oh yeah,
there was so many cool posters and little figures and all shit in the background. It was really cool.
It looked like what my apartment would have been in college if I was, just a film buff. I had a bunch of horror stuff. I still have the posters. Signed Evil Dead poster by Ash and Halloween poster. He had a shrine to the Scream, movies in his closet. Fantastic. So then we go from that to our main character. Why am I drawing a blank? I want to say Melissa, but it's Sam. Her real name is Melissa because the kids love her from Into the Heights. Sam with her therapist talking about everything, and then she finally opens up to the therapist, and this asshole is like, I can't help you anymore.
I'm actually going to report you to the police.
It's
like, golly.
I mean, that's the thing that bothers me about this is like number one, like it's known what happened here. Yes, we'll go into some more of it, but like she was a victim. He should already know this. It should be widely known because the police were there after Scream 5 and all the deaths and everything. But he's like, no, I'm going to now report you. And it's like, what? Like that makes no sense.
See, that's a gripe, but it's such a small gripe. Now, I don't know if we're going to go through this movie scene by scene by scene, but it starts getting to the killing really quickly. Yeah. We have to have our big information dump where she's talking about now we're in a franchise, and I do like this actress.
That's the
not even a franchise. We're in it's the requel, right?
No, she says it's a sequel to the requel, so now we're in a franchise. That's the big,
and
the big thing.
Everyone's
a suspect.
Yeah.
So we have that big information dump, and those are always fine. I liked them better when Jamie Kennedy was given those.
I like how she dished it out though. Like she was like really on her shit. She was like,
yeah. But then there's that scene where she's talking with Kirby and they're doing like the whole underrated, and then she's like recognized game, and I was like, ugh.
Oh, that was
throw up in my mouth a little. Like
it was very
nobody says that ever about anything.
It was very millennial.
Well, you are not a millennial, Steve, so you don't talk like that.
True, Steve.
That's the thing, Steve.
I'm actually like feeling sick just saying it out loud.
You are not a young person.
Game recognized game.
Terrible.
And hoes do too.
But the real problem with this movie is that like the main characters, like they are afraid to kill anybody in this series. They will kill off every new character you see in this film. But if they're a returning character, they are 100% safe. And it doesn't matter how many times they get stabbed. It doesn't matter how many times they get shot. They are going to live to see another day. Even Courtney Cox, who has a fucking dying decree. It was like, tell Sydney he never got me. And then fades into the black. And I'm like, oh my God, look at her stretched face finally went slack. No more Gale Weathers. This is great. And it's the first time that she's actually been on the phone with the killer. Like, this is really, really cool. And then, no, she lives.
Yeah, she lives.
Well, that's the thing.
To what end, I say?
We're gonna go. Well, yeah, we're just jumping to the end here. I mean, because a lot of people go see it. You see the big bodega scene in the trailer, which was awesome.
It's a great scene.
Again,
Ghostface, like I said, he's vicious. He walks in there and just starts stabbing people in the neck, tossing people aside. Here, crazy.
People who die in this movie, they're those random bystanders. They're not a part of anybody. Not even about the court. Not even new friends.
Well, that girlfriend gets killed.
For one, the girlfriend gets killed.
But she should have had an even much worse death because, like, Ghostface sticks her, twists, slits up, and then she's just running around holding her tummy. And then at one point, she's like crawling on that ladder.
Much worse death. She fell and smashed her face on that garbage.
When she went to stand over that ladder, all of her shit should have fallen out.
Okay.
He opened her up. But, like, she does have that smash on and like to the filmmakers' credit, they showed all of it, and it looked pretty gruesome.
They did, and then we get a death fake out scene. Again, we're in spoilers, so it's fine.
That was a
which
cheat.
brutal.
I don't like
Exactly.
it. It was a
I
cheat.
agree. And then the boyfriend that she was sleeping with, we just see his body in the tub. But again, we were never introduced to him. So like all the people outside the girlfriend who had a couple lines live.
But they all
Except
get
for the
fucked
killer.
up.
Wednesday
what's her
Addams
name?
gets stabbed all over the place, and
No,
like
she got stabbed a couple
she
times.
Her
gets
boyfriend
dropped.
Chad gets obliterated, which led to one of the best actual frames of the movie when the two Ghostface killers turn around and both wipe their knives at the same time.
Right.
That was
That's the
fucking
thing.
awesome.
He gets stabbed like 30 times, like in the chest
Lives.
and heart area.
That's
and
what I said. I was
I
like,
know.
it didn't make any fucking sense. I'm like, that dude should be dead.
Well, not only that, but at some point, shouldn't these kids have been taken into protective custody? They keep jumping from fucking crime scene to crime scene in this movie. There's probably 4 or 5 times they're sitting there with blankets in the back of police
I
cars
agree.
and shit.
You have one person
the
who's
same
an
night.
FBI agent in Kirby, who allegedly, I don't even know if that's true or not, because he says that she's not really an FBI agent or she was suspended. But was she really, or was he lying about that?
He was lying.
But was he? Because he went and asked his partner, a guy, to look her up. So maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But we still don't know that part. And then, like, why is this dude, like, allowed to be by himself doing all this stuff? Like, in New York City, there's no way one cop would be allowed to do all this by himself.
Mind you, this is also the same cop who got rused and got his car stolen by these 2 kids. Like, he should be on desk duty. He should be probably suspended without pay. Like, you let these kids take your car?
Agreed.
Like, so that's unbelievable. I think that the whole, like, Ghostface lair is awesome. All the cool little things. That was really
I think
cool.
that's what...
Sean, you see that artwork in there?
Yeah.
Those drawings? That shit was nice.
If it wasn't for the layer, I think I might have pegged it down a bit.
But I don't think they really used the layer to all of its worth in the end
But
when they had it.
it felt like one of us. Not like I would have this Ghostface killer layer, but like a collector, right? Like, we love collecting. We love doing that. So Richie's love was these movies, and he actually went and collected real crime scene props.
That man spent a lot of money.
Sean's just collecting props, like from Star Wars, like fake ones. He's going out and he got the real knife. He got the real TV that was on Stu's head. It was like, what?
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Like, that's where I was like, you know what? I respect that.
It was a cool way.
Game, Steve.
It was a cool way for the movie to. They're talking about the franchise, this whole thing. Now we're in a franchise, so they bring all the pieces of it together. I like how they called out Roman in part 3 as being the only single Ghostface killer to do things like that. That was really cool.
And this is the first trio of Ghostface killers, not including Flash Thompson.
We never saw the dad in the suit, but yes. So you find out that the main cop that's been investigating all this with the girls is Richie's dad, and Chad's roommate is his son, Richie's brother, and then Tara's roommate is Richie's sister.
Which
so
is, again,
here's where it's very here's where I don't like it, right? I like the idea that these people are very upset that Richie got killed, and they are going to take it upon themselves to do some crazy shit.
Seek vengeance, yeah.
The problem is they turn into the fucking laughing clown people at the end of the movie, when it could have been like, if they played it straight and they were like, you fucking took my brother, you took my son, like, if they really played it straight, it would have been scary. But instead they were like laughing, like, oh, rent's gonna be late this month, and you're like, what the fuck? And they're like laughing, and I always wanted to put something in you, Tara. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why all of a sudden, like, you're just doing all this weird maniacal, like, fucking Joker shit, when the whole rest of the movie you've been like, I'm gonna fucking knock you off this ladder and fucking walk away like a boss. Like, I'm gonna shoot this bodega owner in the face with his own shotgun. Like, where did that killer go? And replaced with all these fucking whimsical guys that actually get handled relatively easily.
I agree. Well, and on top of that too, like, they were all murdered multiple times during this fight scene at the shrine,
Yeah.
and
Well, and the
even
fact that
more
the
so,
daughter,
like,
Tara's roommate that we thought was killed earlier, and then like, oh, well, I was a cop and I swapped out the body. Like, none of this logistically makes any sense.
It
How you were
made
able
no
to do any of this?
sense.
You
How
and
are
I
you
swapped her.
swapping out a
He's like, I
body?
swapped her out with a fresh one. Like, okay, so we're just supposed to buy that? Like, I don't.
Yeah, how did you do that?
That's a
Like,
cheat. That's not fair as a movie. Like in this kind of movie, like
I
you
agree.
can't.
It
Like
is a
that's
cheat.
that's a cheat. But like I said, if they would have come back and they would have played that really straight, then I think it would have been much better. And then also Samantha putting on the suit and stabbing him fucking 150 times while the camera goes around, like it just seems like a little much. And
Well,
like
it reminded me of Sydney at the end of the first one. She put on the suit, did the same thing.
she jumped out of a closet and stabbed him with an umbrella and then took the mask off immediately. This chick relished
True.
in stabbing the fuck out of this guy
Because-
over and over and over and over.
Because they're trying to set up this whole Loomis, Billy
No,
Loomis heritage.
and a lot of weird stabs too, right? Like she stabs cop in the eye. You get the therapist with one of the best kills in the movie, right? Like a Ghostface kill in broad daylight. That was pretty sweet, where he just walks up and you see like the shape kind of come through that,
The
frosty
window
glass.
thing, yeah.
Stabs him right in the fucking nose. Like, holy
that shit was
shit!
crazy.
Never seen that
Yeah, through
before.
the mouth. Yeah, I mean, you
Well,
get a
that's the
lot
thing.
of-
Tara stabs the dude through the mouth, twists it.
yeah,
and
he should have been
boosts
dead.
it out. And then he comes running in screaming, like, how are you even opening your mouth? Like, how are you any of this?
That's the one that bothered me the most. Was because she stabbed him through the mouth, twisted it, and that's it.
But none of this is even the most unbelievable part. The most unbelievable part is that Kirby survives getting shot 4 times in the torso. So she's still alive. Again, none of these main characters
No,
are in any.
yeah.
But the most unbelievable part is that, like, this all ends. There's cops everywhere, and not one fucking cop is talking to these 2 girls.
No, they just
One of
walk
them's
away.
One of them's holding the killer mask in her hand, covered in
and
blood,
nobody say nothing.
and the cops
Like,
are just walking around.
let that have been some black people.
We saw the blackening.
Gunned
We know
down.
what would have happened.
Oh,
if it
that's
was a
true.
bunch of black people.
Yeah.
We saw that, and they got the hose. No, but it's ridiculous to me also that Wednesday Addams is like almost dead, stabbed multiple times, dropped from the balcony onto the guy, gets stabbed again, and they didn't even take her away in an
And these are
ambulance.
all
They
gut
walked
shots.
away.
These are all gut shots. Her friend who was cut up, her arm was leaking like a sieve earlier in the movie. Then she gets stabbed in the train in the subway, and like stab, and they do a lot of stabbing and twisting in here. She gets the stab in the tummy and the twist. Like these are kill shots. And then she's like hopping into the thing, like, oh, we all survived. Isn't that crazy? Like, yeah. It's all really dumb.
Yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense. This is all bullshit.
Four.
And somehow, through all that nonsense, I still thought I had a really good time.
Well, it was a fun movie. That's the thing. It was fun because the scenes were really fun. The train scene was fun. The bodega scene was fun.
And I can gripe about them all not being dead, but at the same time, I like these characters, so I'm happy to see him go another round.
And that's it. So, right, they're going to get that 7. Let's see if they survive. They can't survive 7. But again, we say that, and Neve Campbell, well, she wasn't in this movie, but survived through that many. Courtney Cox, again, survived and probably shouldn't have. Dewey survived a long time. So, I don't know. We'll see. The fact that they killed Dewey, to me, means everyone should be able to be.
You know what else? What else made my eyes roll? When she punched Gail in the face. You said you weren't going to write a book. I'm like, oh my God, with the fucking books. Gail's always getting punched in the face for her books. Like, you'd think she'd stop.
That's what she does. Because she gets paid. You ain't going to stop if you're getting paid.
Yeah, if you're getting paid to write a fucking book, I ain't gonna stop writing books.
Well, then maybe stop running up and interviewing the people that you bashed in your books,
exactly.
getting punched in the face on camera.
Why is she running up with a microphone instead of running up and checking out they're okay first? Then pull out the microphone.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, there you go. That's Scream 6 in a nutshell. We enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
It was fun. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I think it's on Paramount Plus, still streaming. So check it out. So that's it for tonight. This is Lil.
It's Sean.
And this is Steven. Until tomorrow night, everybody, keep it creepy.